Okay, first, thank you very much to the organizer of this, for me, very important conference. Even we are not so many people here, I think that it's the first time, and that's very interesting, very important to study the logic of the Talmud, of ancient Jewish law. So thank you for the invitation, thank you for the organization, and hoping for continuation of this conference. Okay, I want to speak, I am a mathematician, and I am working on probability theory. So, and I noticed already some years ago that in the Talmud, and not only in the Talmud, in the Midrashic also, but today I am more specific in for the Talmud, there is a lot of cases in which lotteries are used, or not only are used, but are used for a purpose of Halakhah, the Jewish law, in order to decide, and also for crimes when there is a doubt for something. The rabbis used a kind of lottery, and they give a special meaning of the lotteries. It is not like when I was quite young, I was learning that the lottery is nothing. You know, for the lottery you can find this or this. There's no meaning. For the Jewish point of view, for the Talmudic point of view, there is a very important theological meaning of each lottery if the lottery was done like following some rules. In fact, 3 rules. We'll see the rules later. So I want to begin with some text, from Talmudic text, and following the text, we'll understand better the meaning of the lottery. The first text here came from Tractate Sanhedrin, page 17, about the text in the Torah, in the Pentateuch, in which God said to Moshe, to Moses, to choose 70 people, 70 elders, in order to help him to judge the people of Israel. So the rabbi taught about the remaining 2 men in the camp, that is a verse in Numbers 11. Some say their names remain in the urn. What I mean, when the Holy One, blessed be He, that's God, said to Moses, gather 70 of the elders of Israel, Moses said, how shall I do it? If I choose 6 out of each tribe, there will be too many, because we have 12 tribes, so 12 multiplied by 6 is 72. So we have two people, more. If I select 5, 10 will be one thing, because 10 multiplied by 12 is only 60. So we need 10 are lacking. If I choose 6 out of one tribe and 5 out of another tribe, I shall cause jealousies among the tribes. What did he do? He selected 6 men from each tribe and brought 72 slips, on 70 of which he wrote elder, zaken in Hebrew, leaving the 2 others blank. He mixed them up in an urn and said, come draw your slips. To each who drew a slip bearing the word elder, he said, heaven has already consecrated you. So you are a zaken, you are an elder. To him, to the 2 who drew a blank, he said, heaven has rejected you, what can I do? Okay, that is a very nice example of using a lottery in order to choose people, in order to choose some important people. And we will see that this text is very important in the law, because even today and I will give you an example, sometimes people are chosen following a lottery. And you see already in this text of the Babylonian Talmud, that the lottery is not, you say, blind, but has a meaning. That's a heaven, that's a God. Heaven is a God. So God wanted that this man will be an elder, and God wants that this man is not. So Moses say, heaven has consecrated you, or heaven has rejected you. Okay, so it is a very important text. This text, as I said, is used already now. Another text, also interesting, is following the sacrifices of the two goats. Maybe you remember, it is written in the Torah that on the special day of repentance, the day of Kippur, Yom Kippur day, there was two goats there was an urn. In the urn there was two slips. One goat is on the right side of the Kohen, and the other goat on the left side. On the two slips, on one slip it was written to Lazazel, on the other slip was written to God. Okay, so through the 40 years that Simon the righteous ministered, the lot would always come up in the right hand. And that was a sign that it is good, because at the time of Simon, all the people was very, very well, very good. From that time on, it would come up now in the right hand, now in the left hand. There is no logic. It was really random. Rabbi taught during the last 40 years before the destruction of the temple, and we know that at this time the people of Israel was not good. The lot did not come up in the right hand. That means that it came in the left hand during 40 years, always in the left hand. And the meaning was that it is not good, that God is not happy with this. By the way, the probability of getting 40 times exactly the same thing, the probability is very, very small. It is 1/2 at the power 40. 2 at the power 40 is a very big number. So 1/this is very small. That is the same probability that if you take a cone and you throw it and you want to get it 40 times, the same 40 times tail, for example, or head, 40 times in the same one, two. If you get this, surely you will say that is tricky, that is not possible, that is not true, that the coin is biased. And if it occurs, but then the Babylonian Talmud say us in Tractat Yoma that it was the case. That meaning again that is a willing of God. Why it is so important? Because we will see later also that the result of any lottery is a willing of God, and God wants to say us something. But how God can say us something without, and also we want to get the free will. Free will is very important, because if there is no free will, there is no punishment, nothing. So free will for each person is very important. To have free will and in the other side, God wants to intervene, to do something. Or it is possible that may be a contradiction, because if God really intervenes in the world, so there is no more free will. If I see the God doing something, no more free will. Or it's possible to have both free will and also to permit God, that God have a possibility to intervene in the world. So the answer is probability. The answer is the fact that each thing is possible, but the probability is very small. So if you want to be atheist and say that is by chance, by accident, random, okay, you can do it. But if you trust in God, you can see a sign of God in this event. So that is a second example. Let's see a third example. I'm sorry it's quite long, but it is very important because it is also used in the law. It came from Babylonian Talmud, also from Tractate Baba Batra, page 122a. Okay, it was about the land of Canaan, or land of Israel. So the land was divided by lot, also by lottery, in fact. For it is said, but it is written, only by lottery. It was also divided by use of the Urim and Tumim, because it is said according to the lot, and the rabbi says that when it is according to the lot, it is Urim and Tumim. How was this done? Elazar was a big priest after Aaron, was wearing the Urim and Tumim. Urim and Tumim was a kind of like a box with 12 points, while Joshua and all Israel stood before him, and Aaron with the tribes' names and an urn with the boundaries of the land were placed before him. There is two urns. In one urn there are 12 slips, 12 papers with the name of all the tribes, Reuben, Shimon, etc. And in the other urn there was 12 slips of 12 regions, boundaries of the land. Animated by the Holy Spirit, he exclaimed that Elazar said, Zebulun is coming up, and the boundary lines of Akko are coming up. Then, after he explained, he mixed the urn of the tribes well, and the balloon came up in his hand. It was very strange, by chance, exactly. First he says the balloon, and after he take a paper, a slip, and and he mixed the urn of the boundaries well, and the boundary of lines of Akko came up in his hand. Animated again by the Holy Spirit, he explained, Naphtali is coming up, and the boundary of lines of Ginosar are coming up. He mixed the urn of the tribes well, and Naphtali came up in his hand. He mixed the third urn of boundaries well, and the boundary lines of Ginosar came up in his hand. And so he did with each tribe. So he did this thing 12 times, in fact, and each time by chance. By chance, first he said the name, and he got the name, exactly. So here we have also a lottery, but in this kind of lottery, everybody, all the people of Israel was there, and the people can see exactly the divine presence, the divine providence. Also here, a guy, maybe an atheist person, can say that it is by chance. He says a balloon and exactly by chance. But if for people who are not atheists, who are trusting in God, so clearly that was something special. And also, okay, the Rashbam was a French commentator of the Talmud who lived maybe approximately 900 years ago in east of France. And he explains that they need two lotteries, one for the tribes and one for the borders. You could not say what I don't know for Reuven, for example, because if you do the division is not being done by lottery. And the text say only by lottery. The lottery is very important. So you have, if you have to do a lottery both on the tribes and both on the regions. You cannot say, I will say only the lotteries of the regions. Let's take a slip for the tribe of Reuben. No, it's very important that all is by lottery because again the lottery came from God. By the way, the probability of this, that is a probability approximately, that is in the case, there is a discussion if after taking one paper, the paper was put back in the urn or not. If it is putting back, so the probability is very, very, very small. But here I made the calculation, the computation, assuming that the papers are not coming back. So for example, for the first one, the probability, he says the balloon will come and the echo will come together. So the probability, since there is 12 tribes, it is 1/12, and we have also 12 places, 12 regions, so it is 1/12 square. After the balloon is finished, we have only 11 papers. So 11 papers in each urn, that means this multiplied by this, etc. And we got approximately 1 over a number with 25 zeros, 1,0,0,0,0,0. So it is really a very, very, very small probability. That is the probability for the atheist. You know, for say that it is by chance. So it can be by chance, or also, in fact, any miracle is possible by chance, but the chance is the probability is very, very small. Okay, next text. Yes. The next text it came from Tractat Sanhedrin. Okay, it is when Joshua conquered the land of Canaan, and some soldiers was killed. So when God said to Joshua, Israel has sinned. Has sinned. He asked him, Joshua, ask God, Master of the universe, who has sinned? Who sinned? I am an informer, he answered. God answered, I will not tell you. Go and cast lots. You and do a lottery. So he went and cast lots, Joshua, and the lot fell upon Achan. Achan was the sinner. He said to him, Achan said to Joshua, will you convict me based on lottery? You can shame me. Is it possible to think that I will be ashamed because of lottery? That's not serious at all. You and Elazar, the priest, are the two greatest men of the generation. You are the greatest men. Yet, if I were to cast lots upon you, the lot might fall must fall on one of you. Sure, if I cast a lot because you and you, it's clear that it will be or you, either you or you. No other possibility. So lottery is not serious. It's not serious at all. That was Achan was saying. I beseech you, he replied, Joshua replied, cast no aspersion on the lost, for the land of Israel, the land of Israel is to be divided by lots. As it is written, the land shall be divided by lots. So that the answer of Joshua is quite difficult. He say, you have to know, Mr. Achan, that lots are very important. Any lot, any lottery came from the God. So don't say nothing concerning the lot. The meaning, again, is that doing a lottery is not random. It's random only for our point of view. But the result of a lottery must be fair. But the result of the lottery is not really fair. The result of lottery is a decision of the heaven, of God. Okay, now an example, a counter-example of lottery. That is a Mishnah in Sanhedrin, Mishnah in chapter 3. And Mishnah saying we are the people where we cannot be eligible to be, for example, a judge or something like this. People who are not good. Who are not good, people we gamble with dice. If you gamble with dice, if you go to casino and gamble with dice, that's not good, you cannot be a judge. Rabbi Yehuda said, when it is true that it is not good, when they have no other occupation. But if they have another occupation, they are eligible. That's okay. So that means that if you want to go to casino one time, no problems. You can go to casino and still you can be the president of the state. No problems. But if it is your main occupation, if you are going to casino each day and you are not working at all except going to casino and to gamble, so you cannot be you cannot be eligible. Rabbi Sheshet say because they are not involved with settling the world. That's very important that people, every me, you, etc., will be involved with settling the world, to do something good to the world. And to gamble is not good. It's quite difficult to understand this because we saw before that God was a gambler, in fact. You see several examples. On the meaning that the lottery is something, is a tool of God, is a God tools in order to intervene in the world. And if I use this tool for myself, for gambling, for winning more money, so that's not good because it is using something which is holy for my proper interest, and that is not permitted. I mean that I can gamble, but not for myself. I can gamble since lottery gambling is something holy. It can be do, but not for myself, only for settling the world. But by the way, that is something new. It was written some years ago. Rabbi Yaakov Ariel is still living, and he wrote a book in question and answers. He says that following the Jewish law, it is permitted to participate in national lotteries. Okay, and the reason is that a person which participates to a lottery is also working on other things. But if it is not working, also doing lotteries, gambling, casino, etc., it is not permitted. So he says that how many money, the question was, how many money can I invest in lottery in order to be permitted? How many money? How much? How much? So he said that, very interesting, he say 20%. I mean that if I earn, for example, 1,000 euro each month, so I can invest in the lotteries 20%, I mean to 200 euros, not more. If it is more, it is already not permitted because I am not involved in the setting of the world. So only 20%, and he learned this from this. So that's very interesting because that means that don't buy more than 20% of your money for any national lottery, etc. By the way, it is known that from a mathematical point of view, don't buy at all a national lottery because you will lose your money. It is known that the expectation, the mathematical expectation is negative. That means that they win, so you lose. It's clear. So from a mathematical point of view, it is not interesting to buy a ticket, lottery ticket. That's clear. Okay. Okay. Last, I think it's my last text from Tak Baba Batra, but it is there is some applications. It was taught, Rabbi Yossi said, when brothers divide in inheritance, as soon as a lot from one of them is drawn, all of them acquire possession of their shares. That is also important. You know, let's suppose that people die and there are two children and they have to share something. How to share this? So if one of the brothers, for example, suggests to do a lottery in order to decide that this chair is for me or this chair is for you, I don't know what, if at the first, when already one of them is drawn, all of them, maybe let's suppose there are two brothers, automatically the second brother have acquire the other share. That's important. That means that in order to have a good acquisition, it's enough to do a lottery. That shows that the lottery is very important. Rabbi Elazar said, just like the possession of the land of Israel, as we'll see before. As they began by lot, so here also it is by lot. But there the division was made through the ballot box and the Urim and Tumim, you remember? Should not the division here also be through the ballot box and the Urim and Tumim? Rabbi Ashi replied, because of the mutual benefit, the acceptation. The lot suffices here because in return for the benefit of mutual agreement, they determine to allow each other to acquire possession by the lot ago. That means that in a practical point of view, if the lottery is enough strong in order to give possession to each of the brothers. And this thing was written in the Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch, you know, it's a very important, maybe the most important book of Jewish law written by Rabbi Joseph Caro in the 16th century. And also, if I am here, I have to mention that in the Shulchan Aruch, there are also notes of Rabbi Moshe Isserles, called the Rama, who lived in Krakow here, and he is buried also here, and here also is the Shulchan Aruch. So it is written that after deciding to use a lottery for a division, once one lot has been decided, the division will be made for all. And you cannot say, oh, I don't want. Too late. Okay. Okay, also from the Shulchan Aruch, we see another point which is important. I don't know if you have time to read. Oh, yeah, let's read. If two brothers divided in inheritance, and then a third brother who didn't know about him appears. Let's say one guy dies, and there are two children. They begin to share generally the fields of the father, and suddenly a third guy appears. A third guy, we came from outside, we don't know him. He appears, and he wants also a part of the inheritance. So all the division is adult. Yes, no more. Even if there were 3 fields, and each brother took one, and divided the third field between them, when the third brother came and they cast lots, even if the third field goes to him, any of the 3 brothers can nullify the lottery. And then a new lottery must be held for all of them. Even if the third brother receives part of each of the other fields and is satisfied, either of the other brothers can annul the lottery since it was done in error. So that's very important that the lottery, there's no error in the lottery. If there is any error in the lottery, the lottery is no more holy, is no more came from God. So from the Jewish law, since every lottery has the hand of God, it's very important that the lottery will be perfect. If the lottery is not perfect, it is null. We have to do it again. There is a story, interesting story, which written in the book Chavat Yair, section 61. Chavat Yair was a book written by the rabbi, which name was Yair Bachach, and he lived in Poland. I don't know where, but it is in Poland. In maybe 300 years ago, something like this. He wrote some explanation on the Shulchan Aruch. It was very well known, and he wrote a lot of books used. Here is a story, a very strange story. Once 2 people held the lottery for a silver goblet. They found a silver goblet. I think that this goblet was very expensive. And the 12 people found this silver goblet, and they don't want how to share this. They came to Rabbi Yair Bachach, and he said to them to do a lottery. Okay, so how they do the lottery? Interesting. They put 12 slips of paper, each with one of their names on it, in one box, and in a second box, 11 blank slips, and one that is said Mazal Tov. Okay, there's also two urns, 2 boxes, exactly like sharing the land of Israel. 2 boxes, 1 box, all the names, yes, in 1 box, all the names of the peoples, of the 12 peoples, and in the second box, 11 blank papers, and one with written Mazal Tov. An infant, a child, do one slip from each box, and the ones that came all together with the Mazal Tov would receive the goblet. That's clear? Okay. And the story was, it happened that the Mazal Tov came up to on the 6th draw. Okay. One of the remaining people checked the box with names, and it turns out that one of the names had been omitted, and there had been only 11 slips in the box. One guy, a poor guy, they forgot his name. The participants called for annulling the lottery. Yes, we have to annul the lottery because one guy, but the one we won was very clever man. He said that they had no reason to complain. This only increased their chances. In fact, all the other, for each guy, what is the chance, what is the probability to get the goblet? 1 over 12. But if there is only 11 names, the probability is 1 over 11. So it is bigger. 1 over 11 is bigger than 1 over 12. So for each guy, the chance was bigger. So you have nothing to complain. On the one whose name was omitted, he will do a compromise and compensate him. Don't worry. Let's say the goblet is 1,000 zloty. So I will give you 100 zloty and shut up. Yes, okay. And anyway, they come to the rabbi, and the rabbi answers them that it is a false lottery, not holy. So that is his term, not holy lottery. Then it is null and void, and they have to do a new lottery. So again, we see of this story, like in the Shulchan Aruch before, that the lottery must be very important to be complete, to be without problem. Another story came from Sefer HaChasidim, section 679. Sefer HaChasidim was written by a rabbi called Rabbi Yehuda HaChassid. And he lived in Germany in the 12th centuries, for 800 years ago. And he wrote a very big book called Sefer HaChasidim, the book of the Hasidim. Hasidim, I don't know. Okay, and he says the following: people traveling in the open seas, and a fierce wind arises which seems likely to destroy the ship or to sink it. And other boats are passing safely. Only this boat has problem. So they know that someone on the boat is a transgressor, is a sinner. And they are being punished for him. Everybody is punished because one guy is a transgressor. They have the right to cast lots. We can do a lottery. Everybody who are in the boat, we know that somebody is a sinner. We can do a lottery. If the same person is chosen 3 consecutive times, he is a guilty one, and they have the right to throw him into the sea. You see, very interesting. So people in the boat have the right to take somebody and to tell him, you are the sinner, because in the lottery 3 times consecutively, the lots fall on you, on your name, and to kill him. Okay, the proof of this from the prophet Jonah, because you know the story of Jonah in the Bible, and the story of Jonah was exactly the same. And the rabbi says that it is written 3 times goral. Goral means casting a lot. So that means that they do they cast the lot 3 times, and each time it's falls on Jonah ben Amittai. So they throw him in the sea. Okay, that is an interesting story. So he says that practically you can do this, really. However, in another place, in section 201, it is written quite the contrary. People traveling on the open seas, right, they have no right. Here, no right, and here you say they have right. They have the right, and here it is written they have no right to cast lots, because if they fall on someone, they will be required to cast him into the sea. And it is not right to do as was done to Jonah, servants of Amittai. So there is a contradiction. It seems to be a contradiction between these two texts of the same person, of Rabbi Yehuda HaChassid, and in two sections quite near one of other. But there is a difference between these two texts. And the difference was explained in a book written, Tzitz Eliezer. Tzitz Eliezer was a book written by Rabbi Eliezer Waldenberg, and he died some maybe 50 years ago. And he explains that there is no contradiction, because in the first section, there is a case where the other boats are passing safely. There is a proof that someone in the ship is guilty in God's eyes, which is not the case in the other section, where there is no external proof that there is, there is no external proof that there is someone guilty in this one ship. You can see again, here it is written, on other boats are passing safely. Here, it is not written. So that is the explanation of the a priori contradiction. So in the first case, since other boats are passing safely, that means that really that is a proof that something is there is a sinner on the boat. In the second case, not. So here again, we see that in some cases, we can use a lottery in order to punish somebody when we don't know who is a sinner. We have no proofs. We cannot decide. In fact, a tribunal, in some cases, but we have to be very careful. A tribunal cannot automatically say, okay, let's do a lottery, you are guilty, you are not guilty. No. Okay. A tribunal must work in order to find who is guilty, who is not. But in some cases, like this, following, again, Rabbi Yehuda HaChassid, it is not accepted by everybody, but following this point of view, since a real lottery came from God, you remember the story of Achan with Joshua, since the lottery came from God, a tribunal can do a lottery and punish somebody. Anyway, in a theoretical point of view. Rambam is Maimonides, very well known, lived in Spain, and in Israel, and in Egypt, and 900 years ago. He wrote a very important book of Jewish law, in Ilchot Yesodei HaTorah. Ilchot Yesodei HaTorah, that means that is in the beginning, in the basis of the Torah, chapter 5. He wrote the following thing, which in fact it came from the Talmud, but in Talmud it's not so clear, so I bring the in Gentiles, peoples, say to a group of women, give us one of you, one woman, and we will defile her. That's not good. And if you don't, we will defile all of you, all the women. They should all be defiled and not give over the soul of Israel. It's not permitted to decide, okay, you will be given to the Gentiles, that it's better everybody together. Okay. And the same story if Gentiles say, give us one person, not woman, one person, and you will kill him. That's the same thing, almost the same thing. We will kill him. And if you don't want to give us somebody, we will kill all of you. You should not turn anybody over to them, and everybody will be killed, but don't give somebody. And the Talmud explains, because you cannot say that this guy is wrong, is a sinner, or I don't know what. So in any case, we cannot say. There was an interesting question here about this. What about a lottery? Let's say that all the people are here. Outside there are army, and the army says, the soldiers say, give us somebody, we'll kill him, or everybody is free. If not, we will kill everybody. And we are here together here. Okay. What about lottery? Let's say, okay, we decide together, everybody of us accept. We will do a lottery among us, and the guy will phone in the lottery, will be given to the army outside, and will be killed. He will be killed, and all the others will be free. Is it permitted to do a lottery, to cast lot, in order to only one person will be killed, or not the other one? It's a question quite theoretical, but sometimes it was not theoretical. Sometimes people were needed to give somebody in the history, the long history. So we know that this question was not so theoretical. And the answer is very interesting. The answer is that in the second case, in the case of killing, in the second case, the answer is yes. You can do a lottery if everybody agrees. You can do a lottery, and the guy on him have the lottery will be given to the army, to the Gentiles outside. Or do you know that? It's exactly the same case as in the boat. In the boat is the same case. The boat also, there is a wind, there is a tempest, and we have to throw out somebody. And we saw, and it is clear that there is a sinner. So it is permitted to take somebody, to do a lottery, and in fact, to kill him. That's the meaning. So it is permitted in the second case, if everybody is agreed, it's permitted to have this. However, in the first case, the case of women, it is not permitted. Why? What is the difference? That's very interesting. The difference is because in the second case, that means if the lottery falls off on somebody, that means that he was a sinner, and he must to be killed, because he was a big sinner. He did, I don't know why, but he was a transgressor, so it must be killed, because to kill is one kind of punishment. However, in the first case, there is no punishment of defiling. Never in the Bible, never in the Talmud, you see that the punishment of a woman is to be defiled. That's nothing like this. So that means that you cannot do a lottery for the first case, because the lottery is coming from God, and from God there is no possibility, no such kind of punishment. And also Igrot Moshe was a book written by Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. He died 30 years ago. He was the biggest rabbi in America, and he wrote also several books. And he says the following: yes, so a problem was asking if two people are sick and they need medical care. which one should the doctor treat first if they both reach him at the same time? For example, maybe you are in the street and two people need your help, and let's say that both of them are exactly the same case, and you have only one medical, or you ask yourself to help this one or this one. So then they should follow the order listed in the Talmud. There is an order in the Talmud which says that Cohen before Levi, etc. But that's not important. And if the doctor is not familiar with the list, he should use a lottery. That means that, again, it is not really practically, but that again says that the lottery came from God, because you have two people. You need to help one people. You don't have enough time or you have only one medical care, and you have to decide between the two. So what we have to do, to take a coin, to throw the coin in this one. That's quite strange, but it is interesting that a case that came from the text I showed you before. Another example was written by Rabbi Obadiah Yosef. Rabbi Yosef also died some years ago. He was a big rabbi in Israel. And there is a real story. The story is the following. There was a city where a committee of 36 people prepared to choose someone to be the rabbi of the city. In each city there is a rabbi, and there is a committee who has to choose a rabbi, and the committee has 36 members. That's not very clever to have a committee with even a number of members, and not all, but okay. There were two wise men candidates for the position. The vote split, so each one received exactly half 18 votes. The committee decided by itself to cast lots, and one of the men was chosen. The second wise man appealed, saying one could not rely on a lottery, and that they must convene again and choose a rabbi, and whoever they choose was the one God wanted appointed. Okay, so they came to Rabbi Obadiah Yosef to decide. That is a real story. And the lottery was cancelled because the two wise men did not know about it, and they did not agree before it was cast. That means that the reason that the lottery was cancelled was because they did not know. The committee had to tell them, you got the same number of votes, so we'll do a lottery. If not, so it is cancelled. Okay, but you see that in the theoretical point of view, the lottery is good. And the Chida was a rabbi who lived 300 years ago in Morocco, in Israel and Morocco, Rabbi Chaim Yosef Azulai. He said that it is permitted to open the Torah, or the Bible, and to look at the verse that comes up to make a decision. He says that if you have a very important decision to take for yourself, you don't know to do this or to do this, it is permitted to take the book of the Torah, to open it, and to see at the first verse, and the first verse will give you an hint what to do this or to do this. And he says that, again, it is like a lottery, and it is permitted because if you do this in a good way, that means that it is the decision of God, so you can do it. Yes. So this kind of lottery is called, sometimes it is called the Gras lottery. The Gras is the Gaon Rabbi Ely Vilna. He lived in Vilna, in Lithuania, maybe 200 years ago, 300 years ago, and it is called as his name, this kind of lottery, and it was used by several very important rabbis. It is not known, but it is. For example, Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, who wrote Igrot Moshe, he said that one question arose in his family as to whether they should travel to a certain place. He opened the Bible, and the verse that appeared was in the Exodus, and the men went out. And the answer was clear. It is written in the book, the story is written in the book Bar Miriam. So he opened a book, it's like a lottery, and the first verse was, and the men went out, he understood that he had to travel, and he traveled. Another story also of Rabbi Lapian, who is also well known, before he traveled from Lithuania to England, he tried the grass lottery, and he learned it from the Chafetz Chaim. The Chafetz Chaim was a very important rabbi from Radin in the Lithuania of the 19th centuries. Asked him whether to travel or not. The answer that came up was a verse in Genesis. I will go down to Egypt with you, and I will bring you back up. So also he understood that he had to travel. That's there is a lot of stories like this. There is also another one, a lot of determinate identities of the slain from the Company 35. That is a story in the War of Independence of Israel. There was 35 soldiers who were killed, and it was not possible to recognize them. And the families, that's a real story, that's happened in 1948, and the families, when they got the corpse, they want to recognize. It was not possible to recognize. So it was done. There is also a lottery was conducted by Rabbi Aryeh Levin. It is written in the book of Raz. And he say in the book, that is a real story, he say, no, we will see for the first one. He opened the Bible, and the first verse, it was written something about Benjamin. On one of them, his name was Benjamin. He said, so it is this one, etc. And each of them, so recognized, and the families were very happy. Happy is not the word, but they accept this. Okay, let's conclude. 5 minutes to for the conclusions. Okay. A person cannot refuse to follow the results of a lottery because the results come from above. One who refuses to obey a lottery is as one who violates one of the 10 commandments that is written. We see that in the Torah, in the prophet, in the writings. That means all the Bibles. You know that the Jewish Bible, also called Ancient Testament, is divided into three parts: Torah, prophets, and writings. That they relied on the lottery when they were conducted without main calculation and inversion. As it is said, one should cast the lottery discreetly, for the decision is from God, in Proverbs. Since it is obvious that a fair lottery, it will reflect God's will, which will not be true if it is a dishonest lottery. That is written in Choshen Mishpat, Shulchan Aruch. Hebrew law uses a lottery for decision only when it is conducted perfectly. The lottery joins in the search of the truth, and every casting of lots must be to further God's will. The Lord brings an end to strife and separates the contentious, also from Proverbs chapter 18, verse 18. The commentator explained, the lottery will determine the contention about the separation property because the lottery will determine each one portion. Okay, practical consideration in casting in lottery. In fact, there is three points. First one, perfect lottery. The lottery must be conducted in all the involved items. You remember that in the sharing the land, there were two boxes. Yes, because there is a lottery on the tribes and on the regions. Exactly. So here is exactly the same. Usually there is only one group of items, so a single lottery is sufficient. But if there are more than one group of items involved, then you must use more than one lottery, one for each group. That's the first thing. The second thing, that a lottery must be fair. A lottery must be fair. There must be equal chances for each side in the dispute. Or in scientific language, the distribution of the results should be a uniform distribution. Uniform, that means that each person has the same probability to get in. And the last, the appearance of the lottery. The lottery must appear to be fair and not a trick conducted by the participants. Everyone is present at any of the stages of the lottery, preparation of the slips, mixing, etc. It turns out that the appearance of fairness is extremely important, and one cannot use a lottery in a place where the community present does not sense that it is a fair lottery. For example, in the story of Rabbi Obadiah Yosef to choose a rabbi, since they did not know they were the two candidates did not know about this, it was not good. So for casting a lottery, in order that the lottery, in a Jewish point of view, is really from God, you need these three things. And the purpose of the lottery, in fact, in the Jewish theology, not law, but in Jewish theology, there are five purposes. The first one, as I explained before, divine intervention in human history. That the lottery permits to God to intervene, to do something, if God wants something, so God doesn't want to do something against the law of natural science. God doesn't want to change the classical law, but he wants to intervene. How God can intervene without changing the law of physics, the law of chemistry, the law of biology? So he do it by lottery, by probability. The second purpose is delivering messages regarding the behavior of person or community. You remember the example of the two ghosts in Yom Kippur, sometime on the right, sometimes on the left, to say to people, good, not good. If you have a traffic accident, terrible accident, and you get out with nothing, also generally people are killed in such traffic accident, or you have nothing, that means that God wants to deliver you a message, wants to tell you, be careful, you have to be better, you have to take some better decision, you have to change your life. So that is also like a lottery. It's by chance. As a statistician, I can say, okay, in this traffic accident, you had nothing. It is there is a probability that you get out without nothing. But in fact, that is a message of God. The third point is, as I said before, living the free will. Free will is very important. Without free will, nothing, no punishment, nothing. So in order to live in free will, the intervention of God must be hidden. It must be hidden, how God can intervene in a hidden way, again, the answer is a lottery. The answer is a probability, is a random. So he's intervening, but in a hidden way. You cannot see. You are not obliged to see him. So that leaves a free will in the hands of everybody. Okay, the first purpose, we don't have time to speak on it, but I write it in purpose, is variation, the process of renewal and continuity of life. You know that in biology, there is, for each birth, there is a lottery. In fact, between all the genes, the genus of the father and the mother, it is like a lottery. For the life, for the continuation of life, you need random. Without random, all will be the same, and no more life. That's very important, but I didn't have time to speak on this. And prevention of prediction of natural phenomena and in the long term. For example, meteorology. Yes, the weather. The weather, we can give the weather of tomorrow, 2 days, 3 days, but it's not possible to give the weather in the long term. Everybody knows the butterfly the chaotic. You know that there is chaos in physics. There is chaos. We say that it's impossible to predict at long term the future. Impossible, even for the stars, for the moon, we cannot predict because some very small changes can cause big changes. We have no stability. The cosmos is not stable, and that is so that's very important to say to the man, okay, you are very clever, you are smart, you can do very nice equations, and you can predict the weather for tomorrow for 1 week, but no more than this. Yes. Okay. So in fact, I finish with this. I just want to give some some teaching for me. We know that in art, the purpose of art is to transform the unexpected into the necessary. That is when you see a very small picture or very small, very nice music, for example, yes, as the unexpected is transformed in something which is necessary. That is art. And I think that the lottery is quite the converse. The lottery purpose, it transforms the necessary into the unexpected. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your so embracing talk, and it is, in my opinion, very interesting that in the Talmudic reasoning there are some insights for today's probability theory and even some basics for probability theory, but these things have some religious features too, and maybe some additional words I would like to provide from the point of view of model logic, because there are also, it is very interesting that in the Talmud there is the notion Mitziyut, findings, and findings are things that are occasional, are accidental, so they occur in the unpredicted way, but they are signs from God. So in the terms of Aristotle, we can say that findings, Mitziyut, are things that are possible and at the same time are impossible. So and for me it is very impressive that Aristotle's model logic has the same insights as the Talmud. So we can say that the Aristotle's model logic has also some religious roots that maybe not preserved only in the Talmud. These religious roots exist, but it is so significant that we deal with a joint, maybe some Semitic Akkadian, some cultural patterns that were preserved in some explained way in the Talmud, but in so formal way in the Aristotle's reasoning. So,
yes. One question about if there is taken into account the anthropic bias. Anthropic bias. Because this lottery is kind of asking God about his decision. But in fact, the question comes from men, from people. And people can understand the world their way. And they can, for example, give God 3 ways of choose, because they can imagine the world only 3 ways. And for example, there is this example with this ship and the storm. For example, they recognize yesterday there was no storm. Day before yesterday there was no storm, and the other ships were coming safely. And today is the storm, and they can think that the storm is because of them. But and it's a wrong decision, because they can think other ships were safe and our ship is not safe. So we make lottery, and maybe this lottery is not perfect, and people can just ask a wrong question, and in fact. This decision about lottery can be a bad decision. How this is?
Good question. That's a good question. I have no simple answer. It's clear that it is not so simple to decide if we can do a lottery or not. It depends of all the okay, in this case it depends if you see that your boat, that only your boat is in danger, and all the other boats are passing well, so you can decide. In fact, you know, any decision, any tribunal decision is following the facts that you see. Okay. Yes, it is not always objective. Okay, you ask another problem. In fact, you have the problem of the objectivity against the subjectivity. That's clear, and there is no simple answer on this. But if you try to decide, following what do you seem that it is a true. So in this case, in a religious point of view, I speak, it is enough. I see. I mean that as a guy which call himself religious, I mean accepted the rules of God. If you feel in an objective point of view that the case is 1 or 2 or 3, that's okay.
Okay, thanks. And maybe my other commentary that it is possible to say that there are 2 main world views in the religious history. The first belongs to the Jewish theistic world, and the second to the Indian and Buddhist world. And according to the first view, there are possible things, unpredicted things. And according to the second view, there is nothing unpredictable because there is a karma that determines all the history, determines us, and so on. And it is very interesting that these point views are rooted in modological views. So two different possible modal logics, and we have the tradition of in some way connected with Aristotle's modal logic, and they have so rigorous deterministic modal logic where all events are just necessary.
Okay, you're right. It's clear that in a Jewish point of view, the story is not deterministic. That's clear. Not deterministic. It can be changed, and is it changing all the time, following the actions of the people, following the decision of God. We don't know, but it is not deterministic. I think that the random is intrinsic in the. It is already written in the first verses of the Bible, when it is written that the earth was chaos. For me, the chaos means that there is no stability. No stability for me, that means that it is random. Not everybody thinks like this. But I think so, that all was random, and all is still random. That means that we don't know if tomorrow the weather will be nice or not nice. Maybe tomorrow we'll have snow. Even for people casting the weather, it is not at 100%. There is also always a probability that suddenly there is something like this. And by the way, all the miracles in the Bibles are also following the laws of the science. You know, even in the wind, we think on the wind, in the Bible says that the people in the desert of Israel, they wanted to eat something. There's no eating. So what it is written, God said, don't worry, we'll get some eating. It is written that a wind from the east came, and many kind of birds, Slav, came. But it is written that there was first a wind. That means why it is written to say that the miracle must be following the laws, the normal laws of the world.
I have a question. You made your point very clearly that the agency is on the side of God.
Yeah.
I would ask, is the human agency in kind of intentions of participants completely excluded?
No. What do you mean? The intention of the people?
Like a kind of synergy between God's will and involved human wills.
I think that there is a synergy. There is like this. Yes, no problem.
So I find this concept or this practice of lottery a very good social tool, which is probably very profitable to avoid social conflicts, because we, from a pragmatic point of view, of course, we treat the concept of God as some kind of legitimization of the right way of the effects of lottery, but I am not sure if this mechanism can work in the case of so-called free riders, someone who wants to take profits or benefits from the group, but who doesn't want to pay for cooperation. So this is some kind of the person who wants to cheat, who wants to defect. So I think that this mechanism rather doesn't work in this case, because, for example, when we find that in our cooperative unit someone cheats or someone defects, we are going to look him by this, in this case, random or accidental mechanism, and we cannot eliminate the real cheater from our...
I think you're right. I think you're right. And no, lottery is not good for anything, for everything. In some cases, when it is not really fair to do it, so no lottery, it's clear. But we see some examples that rabbis decided that this lottery is null, void. Yes, right. But even in some examples, like you say, it is not automatically. But you are right that it would be interesting to study more the different cases.
But lottery can be applied to all cases, not only to the cases that you have presented, but also to other matters.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.